When an artist enters the studio for the last time, the air in the room changes. There is a specific acoustic signature to a final album.
I'm so happy his last album was amongst one of his greatest. He didn't go out like a has-been. He went out like a legend, like a god.
It's a sound that is often drier, closer, and more uncomfortably intimate than anything that came before it. It's as if the layers of production, the reverb, the double tracking, the digital sheen are being stripped away because there is no longer any time for artifice. He made Black Star for us, his parting gift. I knew for a year this was the way it would be. Today we are looking at the secret language of the finale. These are the hidden messages, the sonic codes, and the pre-planned exits of the icons who knew the end was coming and decided to turn their departure into one final, mysterious masterpiece. To understand the secret language of the final album, we have to start with the master of the exit strategy, David Bowie. In January 2016, the world was stunned by the release of Black Star. 2 days later, Bowie was gone. On the surface, it was a brilliant experimental jazz rock record, but to those who knew how to read the audio, it was a detailed map of a man leaving the planet. The hidden messages in Black Star weren't just in the lyrics, they were in the physical object itself.
This is what you should put up. But we got it done, and it is one of the best Bowie albums ever, Black Star. It really is. And it took a big team to do it.
Fans discovered that if you left the vinyl sleeve of Black Star in the sun, the black star on the cover would transform, revealing a shimmering field of stars hidden within the paper. It was a literal hidden frequency of light. But the most haunting message was in the title track's structure. Bowie purposefully chose a song length of 9 minutes and 57 seconds, just under the 10-minute limit that iTunes had for singles at the time.
If you listen to the drumming on that album, it's like nothing you've ever heard before. But it's just, and I'm thinking it's just wonderful that jazz musicians play rock.
It was a technical decision made by a man who was meticulously managing his own legacy until the very last second. He was telling us that even in death, he was the one in control of the broadcast. But while Bowie used symbols, others used the frequency of fatigue. This is a technical phenomenon when an artist's physical decline becomes a part of the instrument. Think about Freddie Mercury during the recording of Queen's Innuendo.
And to me, something spoke to me. I don't know what it was, but we were messing around with some chord sequences, and the song just leapt into my head so vividly that I sort of questioned whether I'd heard it somewhere else.
By 1990, Freddie was so ill he could barely stand. When it came time to record The Show Must Go On, Brian May was worried Freddie wouldn't be able to hit the massive, soaring notes the song required. He suggested they track it in small pieces. I said, "Fred, I don't know if this is going to be possible to sing." And he said, "I'll fucking do it, darling. Down the vodka and went in and kill it." If you listen to that track with high-end headphones, you can hear the secret language of survival. You can hear the grain in his voice, the physical struggle of a man using his last reserves of oxygen to reach a high B natural.
What do you think you can do with me that no one else has done for the last 25 years?
There is no pitch correction here. It is the raw, unvarnished sound of a human spirit refusing to be silenced by the failing body. The hidden message isn't in the code, it's in the sheer impossible power of the frequency itself. It was a final, defiant broadcast to his bandmates and his fans. I'm still here. Sometimes the secret language isn't about defiance, it's about the sonic handshake with the afterlife. In the final months of his life, Leonard Cohen recorded You Want It Darker. Cohen was in so much physical pain from cancer that he couldn't even sit in a standard studio chair. His son, Adam, set up a microphone at the kitchen table and used the basic digital interface to capture his father's voice. It was a bittersweet to see him toiling right up to the very last second with the lyric. As soon as the work was complete, he would no longer have any reason to live. Because recording was so close-mic'd and intimate, you can hear every breath, every click of the tongue, every gravelly resonance of an 82-year-old throat.
Technically, the equipment's not supposed to do these things, and technically it can sound like it's broken. But that's the sound. That's what it is. That's where the emotion is.
The hidden message here is the removal of distance. Usually in pop music, we use reverb to make the singer sound like they're in a dream space. Cohen did the opposite. He removed all the space.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, but it's heartbreaking in a different way because you have your whole life to figure it out. When you're looking back over your life at the end of your life with regret, it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
He wanted to sound like he was whispering directly in your ear from the other side of the veil. And he says, Hineni, Hineni, Hebrew for I'm here. He isn't singing to an audience. He is answering a call that only he can hear.
The key was the lyrics. And that if the lyrics were right, it didn't really matter what genre the music was or where it came from.
But what about the albums that weren't supposed to be finals? This is where the accidental prophecy comes in. Look at John Lennon's Double Fantasy. After 5 years of silence, Lennon returned with an album that was a celebration of domesticity, peace, and starting over. But if you listen to the technical layers of that record, there is a strange, haunting quality to the background sounds. In tracks like Watching the Wheels, there is a sense of detachment, a man who has finally stepped off the carousel of fame and is looking back at the world with a calm, almost ghostly perspective. The hidden message of Double Fantasy is the tragedy of timing. It's the sound of a man who had finally found the perfect frequency of happiness, only to have the broadcast cut short weeks later. I'm not afraid of dying. I am prepared for death because I don't believe in it. It's just getting out of one car and getting into another. It serves as a reminder that in the world of music icons, the final album is often a collaboration between the artist and the fate. Then there is a case of Johnny Cash and his American Four. A man comes around. This was a man who had spent his life as a man in black, a symbol of rebellion and strength. But his final recordings are a masterclass in the beauty of broken audio. His voice is shaky, he misses notes, he runs out of breath. To a standard pop producer, this would be a failure.
When I heard the record, I said, I can't do that song, it's not my style.
Yeah.
He said, well, let's try it another way, let me do something. So he put down a track and I listened to it.
But to his producer, the famous Rick Rubin, this was the truth frequency. They left the flaws in.
And he said, what I would do is let you sit down before a microphone with your guitar and sing every song you want to record. Just you and your guitar.
They left the sound of the chair creaking. They left the sound of the aging outlaw's labored breathing. You have to keep me working because I'll die if I don't have something to do. The hidden message in Cash's final work is that perfection is a lie. The most powerful music isn't the most polished, it's the most honest. By allowing us to hear his weaknesses, Cash gave us his greatest strength.
And if you forget what Nine Inch Nails sounds like, and you just read it like a poem, and then you imagine a 70-year-old man reading these lyrics, it'll be profound.
All of these artists, whether through elaborate codes like Bowie or raw vulnerability like Cash, were using their final albums to solve a problem. How do you say goodbye when you aren't there to say it in person? Tears welling, silence, goosebumps. I just lost my girlfriend because that song isn't mine anymore. And they used the studio as a laboratory to capture the frequency of finality. So the next time you listen to a final album by one of your icons, don't just listen to the lyrics. Listen to the space between the notes. Listen to the way the breath hits the microphone. Listen to the choices they made when they knew the clock was ticking.
I enjoyed doing the Hurt video. I enjoyed doing that very much because I felt we were doing something worthwhile.
Yeah.
That it was something that was kind of special.
You might just find that they left a message specifically for you, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right person to tune in. Thank you so much for watching these videos, and if you have a great idea for one of the videos, please drop a comment, and until next time, wish you all the best.